We are now more than halfway through the NFL regular season, so now it's time to take a look at that AFC playoff race. Welcome to Billievers Talk. My name is Joe, and welcome to this AFC Playoff Race edition of Billievers Talk. Now that we're more than halfway through the season, we're going to take a look at what the AFC Playoff Race looks like and what it means for our Buffalo Bills. Before we do that, however, if you haven't already hit that subscribe button, guys, hit that subscribe button for continual Buffalo Bills news. Not only do we have the update on the Buffalo Bills, we also keep you updated on all Buffalo sports. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button, like this video, and go ahead, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Billievers Talk teaming up with both hashtag sports community live play-by-play and reaction coverage to every single Buffalo Bills game this season. Watch either here on Billievers Talk or over at hashtag sports for every single game. Get to chat with Bills Mafia. Join the conversation. Billievers Talk also teaming up with BewhareTheStampede.com. Beware the Stampede just came out with a new podcast. So if you're into podcasts, you want some Buffalo Bills podcasts to listen to, go to BewhareTheStampede.com. Not only will you find podcasts there, you'll find myself there and all kinds of Buffalo Bills information. So go to BewhareTheStampede.com for that info. But in this episode, we are going to talk about the AFC playoff picture. What's it look like currently? What are the remaining schedules of the teams going for that wild card spot, those two wild card spots, and also what the Bills need to do in order to stay on top. Right now, they're currently the 5th seed. They're the 5th seed. Would have loved that win on Sunday against Cleveland. Would have actually put us 2 games up on the 6th seed, with the Indianapolis Colts losing to the Miami Dolphins on Sunday. That would have made us 7-2. Would have made everyone else for the 6th seed at 5-4. Would have definitely given us a little bit of a cushion as we get ready to go into that tough stretch of games for the Buffalo Bills. Now, I'm not going to talk about division winners because right now they're winning the division, and unless they're the New England Patriots, we don't really care. We're not looking to win the AFC South. We can't. It's impossible. So even though the Oakland Raiders are really close to the Kansas City Chiefs, only a half game back, and watch out, Oakland might actually end up winning that division. And also, take a look at Houston and Indianapolis. They're close together as well. We're just going to talk about what effect it has on our Buffalo Bills. So we'll talk about the AFC East a little bit, although with that loss, again, looks like it's going to hurt our chances to win the AFC East. But we're also going to take a look at that wild card spot. Again, currently right now, the Buffalo Bills stand at 6-3 in that 5th wild card spot, a game up on everybody else. Right now we have 2 spots, right? 2 wild card spots, and it seems for the most part we have 5 teams vying for those spots. Now right now, again, Houston and Kansas City with the lead in the division, so we're not going to talk about them, although if they get jumped by Oakland or Indianapolis, obviously then they're the teams looking at the wild card race saying, hey, we need to look to get in at the wild card. So we're going to look at the 5 teams right now that are either in the wild card position or a game back. And that includes the Buffalo Bills, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Oakland Raiders, the Indianapolis Colts, and the Tennessee Titans. Those are your 5 teams right now that are sitting at either in those playoff spots or a game back. Right now, the 5th seed is the Buffalo Bills, and the 6th seed is the Pittsburgh Steelers based on tiebreakers. So you look at that matchup later in the season between the Buffalo Bills and the Pittsburgh Steelers, might have huge implications for the playoff picture. Might see that game possibly getting flexed even if things keep going this way. I think that's a Week 15 game, so it's something to look forward to in the future. But right now, the Bills have to worry about winning. When you look at these 5 teams, again, it would have been nice to have that win on Sunday, be up 2 games. But again, the Bills are 6-3, the Steelers 5-4, the Raiders also 5-4, the Colts 5-4, and then the Titans sitting at 5-5. Now, the good news with the Tennessee Titans concerning the Buffalo Bills is we have a tiebreak, right? We have a head-to-head tiebreak with them, and the good news against the Steelers is we control our own destiny there. We can beat that team. We control head-to-head in that matchup as well. And the Steelers are saying the same thing about the Bills. Excuse me, but right now the Bills sitting at that 5 seed, and you look at their schedule, again, they have a gauntlet of games coming up that starts with Dallas on Thanksgiving. You have 2 games that we should win, right? I mean, obviously, we can't look past an opponent. Miami's this week. We need to look at Miami and get prepared for them in Miami. They were tough out in Buffalo, so we can't look past them going to Miami. They're on a 2-game win streak. Let's hope that the Buffalo Bills, who I think are the more talented team, show up for this game and take care of business like they did last year in Miami. Miami. Then we play the Denver Broncos in Buffalo. I think if this game were in Denver, I would say, it's a little bit tougher, but coming to Buffalo, I think that would be a good time for the Buffalo Bills to jump on the Denver Broncos and possibly win that game. Again, going 2-0 in the next two would be huge, making us 8-3 instead of falling us back. If we go 1-1, all of a sudden we're looking at a 7-4 team, and we're probably tied with a couple teams with these wild card spots. Then that gauntlet starts. Talk about Dallas, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, New England. And that's going to be a tough gauntlet for the Buffalo Bills, and that's why these two first games are very important, and that's why that last week game against the New York, New Jersey, Jets is equally as important to get those wins. Win the games that we think we should win, and then the gauntlet of games might become a little more manageable. Now again, we play Dallas, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, and then New England, and then we play New York Jets at home to close out this season. Out of these 5 teams, the Buffalo Bills have the 3rd easiest schedule, so we're actually right in the middle of the 5 teams as far as goes strength of schedule. If you want to talk about the easiest remaining schedule, and this is why Oakland might have a shot to win the AFC West, the Oakland Raiders have the easiest remaining schedule. Their opponents are 24-42 the rest of the way, a 36.4% winning percentage. And they got Cincinnati, the Jets, Kansas City. That's going to be a huge game in 3 weeks at Kansas City. Tennessee, Jacksonville, the Chargers, and then Denver. Both those games end the season on the road, so that might be a little tough for them. But you're talking about the game at Cincinnati is at home, 2 road games, then 2 home games against Tennessee and Jacksonville, and then they go back on the road for the Chargers and the Broncos. But again, their schedule looks a little favorable as far as opponents' records. Talking about 24-42 the rest of the way. The only team that has a winning record that they play right now is the Kansas City Chiefs. The Titans are sitting at 500. So again, a favorable schedule for Oakland. If they can manage it correctly, they might have a shot at the AFC West. But if they don't win the AFC West, again, with that favorable schedule, they're going to win a few more games, right? They're going to win a few more games, probably have 9 to 10 wins. So where does that sit us compared to the Oakland Raiders if that were to happen? Then you go to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh Steelers have the 2nd easiest strength of schedule out of these 5 teams remaining, and Pittsburgh currently in that 6th spot, sitting at 5-4, but their remaining schedule, their opponent's record is 24-39-1, 37.5% winning percentage. Look at Buffalo. Buffalo is actually above 50% right now, again with that gauntlet of games, about 50.8% with the remaining teams on their schedule. But Pittsburgh, you still play Cleveland twice. We know that Cleveland's going to be a tough out. We just saw them, and they were a tough out for us, but you expect them to at least win one of those games, if not both. They play Cincinnati at 0-9 still. They go to Arizona to play Arizona. That might be a tough game from East Coast to West Coast. Then, of course, that big game week 15 against the Buffalo Bills. And that's where, again, everything can shake out with this AFC playoff picture. And the Buffalo Bills might need to win that game in order to stay in this playoff picture. But again, I'm sure the Steelers are saying the same thing at this time. Then they have the Jets, and they finish off the season at Baltimore. What will Baltimore be playing for at that time? That could very well be an indicator if the Baltimore Ravens play everybody, and if the Steelers might be able to steal a win in Baltimore if the Ravens have everything locked up at that point. But we'll wait to see what happens. A huge win for Baltimore over New England changes that landscape a little bit too. So we'll wait to see what happens. You look at the Colts, they have the 2nd toughest schedule of the 5 teams fighting for that wild card spot, with a winning percentage of their opponents of 53.1%, and the Titans sitting at 5-5, and they have the toughest schedule remaining, sitting at 61% for their opponents' remaining winning percentage. So it's going to be tougher for the Tennessee Titans. Again, we have that tiebreaker with them since we beat them earlier this season. They have Jacksonville, Indianapolis, Oakland, Houston, New Orleans, and then Houston again. So they play Houston 2 more times. That's going to be tough for them, as we know that Houston's going to be fighting for that division title there. And then the Colts, they have Jacksonville, Houston, Tennessee, Tampa Bay, New Orleans, Carolina, and then Jacksonville to end the season there. So again, that's the playoff picture as it shakes out right now. 5 teams pretty much vying for 2 spots in that wild card position. We're not out of the AFC East race yet, but it's looking really dim for us. Again, I don't see New England losing more than 4 games, and that game against New England Week 16 has become even more important if we want to think we have a shot at winning the AFC East. Again, nothing's over till it's over. Anything can happen in the NFL. We just saw the Falcons beat the Saints in New Orleans, so we know anything is possible. But that is your wild card wrap up right now. The way the AFC playoff picture looks, again, you have New England winning the East. You have Baltimore ahead in the North. You have Houston ahead in the South, and you have Kansas City currently ahead in the West, even though it's only half a game. And then your two wildcard spots currently are Buffalo at the 5 seed, Pittsburgh at that 6 seed, and then you have the Raiders, the Titans, and the Colts all vying for that 6 seed, all at least tied or only a half game back in the Titans' case of the Pittsburgh Steelers. So again, we're still a game up. We still have some room. Would have been nice to have that 2-game spread like I talked about if we would have beat the Cleveland Browns this past Sunday, but we have to look past that. We have to get by that and now look towards the Miami Dolphins this Sunday. And again, guys, join us live right here on Believers Talk, as we'll give you a live play reaction, whether it be here on YouTube or on Sportscaster. Either way, giving you the best Buffalo Bills game day coverage between myself and Hashtag Sports. And also, again, Beware the Stampede starting a new blog. If you enjoy blogs, or podcasts, I should say, if you enjoy podcasts, check him out. Jeremy does a great job. And you'll find me over there as well and all your Buffalo Bills news. So go to BewareTheStampede.com. If you haven't already hit the subscribe button, guys, hit that subscribe button. And leave a comment. Here we are, going into week 11. What do you think the Buffalo Bills' chances are of making the playoffs? Do you still think they have a shot to win the AFC East? Let me know in the comment section. I appreciate you guys joining me for this AFC playoff prediction or scenario episode. I look forward to talking to you all soon. Until I do, go Bills.